Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for joining me for another crafty venture. Today I am featuring this beautiful sentiment stamp from Technique Junkies, and it is called Dogs, Books, and Coffee. And I decided that I would make a shaker card with it to kind of feature the whole neutral creamy concept of coffee. Yeah, so anyway, I used that fun die plate to create my background. It was just a piece of pattern paper and I cut that out, and now I've got these frames. That was just a piece in my stash. It was just a scrap, and I'm using my score tape to go around the edges, and you saw me burnishing that down. You want to make sure that you have that perfect seal, so burnish it down, whether it's with your finger or bone folder or whatever, but you don't want that tape coming up. And then I've got my acetate going down, and here I am creating my shaker well with this double-sided foam tape that I have folded over on itself, so it's 2 layers. And this is an important step. You want to use some type of an embossing buddy in there to get the stick off from the sides, and then you want to sweep that out so that you don't have that embossing powder floating around with your shaker bits. And these shaker bits that I'm using are, of course, from Sparkle Blends. You guys know how I feel about my Sparkle Blends. And I can't remember the name of it. It is a coffee blend. I will have to put that downstairs. But yeah, it's really sweet. And from time to time, I'll bring it up close and show you the beautiful pieces that Amber over at Doodles Paper Playground has. I keep using the word curated when I talk about these because she's really curated them. But the focus on this particular card is that sentiment, the dogs, books, and coffee. And I show that up close and personal several times as well because I'm always so super impressed with how red rubber stamps. And Pat over at Technique Junkies knows that, and that's why all of her stamps are red rubber. And, you know, of course there are pros and cons to both in terms of stamping, but you cannot get the clarity with any other type of stamp that you get with red rubber. And look, I stamped that one time with the embossing powder or the embossing ink, and that's all it took. I didn't have to go back and forth. I mean, because I tend to do things a little, I overdo, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I normally may have stamped that more than once, and especially with the clear ink, because you can't really see it, but you just tip it in the light and you can see where it's stamped. And do you see the name of that embossing powder? It's called Coffee Grounds. So I'm sticking to a theme here. And that beautiful brown, and it's all shiny and it's elevated, but here I'm showing you, look, it's the exact same. There's no change, there's no smushed letters, there's no modeled images, nothing like that. It's all perfect. And look at these cute little details. And I'm going to point this out several times because I'm just super impressed. I love the little puppy feet. I love the love arrow and the hearts, the little steamy cup of coffee, the ampersand, the different fonts. I mean, what is not to love about this? Dogs, books, and coffee, right? All it needed was wine and family. And it would have had all the important things in life. So you saw me bubble cutting that out. I kind of debated on how I wanted to adhere this or what shape I wanted and that type of thing, but I felt like bubble cutting it out was just fun. And a tip for bubble cutting, and I've said this before, but you want to make sure that you're moving your paper and not your scissor. I don't know if you noticed that, but that's what I was doing, moving my paper. You get a much cleaner cut. And so I already knew my placement. I just glued everything down. I used a little bit of double-sided tape on the outside of the stamp so that it would or the sentiment, so that it would be the same level as the shaker. But there it is. That's the finished card. Down and dirty, short and sweet. I've condensed this down to just a few minutes worth of footage, and then I sped up most of it except for this part. I wanted you to see that shaker in real life. And I think that's the perfect highlight for that cute little stamp. And see, I'm showing you again the details. Sorry for redundancy, but I'm just really impressed. I love this stamp. I think it's super fun. Drop me a note downstairs. Let me know who you think you might give a card like this to. This is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, featuring Technique Junkies, Dogs, Books, and Coffee. Y'all give me a like, a subscribe, all the things. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.